Hello there, and welcome to our presentation, ACE the ATS, Optimizing Your Resume for Maximum Impact. My name is Bella Doswell, and I'm a career transition coach with 19 years of experience gained from the UK, the Middle East, and most recently for the last 13 years in Ontario, Canada. My key strength is helping people reconnect with their skills and talents so that they can market themselves effectively and confidently to employers. When I'm not busy doing that, you can find me writing a weekly post on LinkedIn, CDP Thought for the Week, on current trends in career development. And you'll also find me advocating for our profession as one half of the duo for hashtag So Much More Than Talking About Jobs, a global campaign that this year gained 3.3 million hits and had 30 countries taking part. So, what have we got in store for today? For this session, we will dive into how to optimize your resume for Applicant Tracking Systems software, ATS, helping you get noticed by recruiters and stand out from the competition. Understanding how ATS works is important because that will help us be able to understand how we can optimize and write our resumes and make it past the first hurdle. So, worth knowing that as of 2023, 98% of Fortune 500 companies use ATS. That source comes from JobScan, and that's why optimizing your resume for ATS is crucial for standing out in today's job market. So, we're going to be looking at, firstly, understanding for part one how ATS actually works. I think this is good to get behind the alchemy of the technology of what we're faced with. So let's understand first what applicant tracking systems actually are. So they're software systems used by employers to manage the recruitment process, especially when they have large volumes of applications. The system automatically filters resumes based on keywords and criteria set by the employer. So using an ATS is essential for employers, as recruitment agencies and companies have a constant flow of potential leads and candidates. So it makes it important for them to try and find a solution that streamlines that process. As a result, many companies have invested in systems that improve the efficiency of their operations, the main one being, of course, the applicant tracking system software. So why do businesses use ATS? Well, the job market is becoming more competitive, and manual methods of recruitment sometimes aren't always as effective. So if you imagine we have thousands of applications, sometimes daily, weekly, that's a lot to get through. Candidates want to find the best positions possible, and recruitment agencies and companies want to source them. So many are making a switch to using ATS systems. Additionally, candidates and recruiters alike want a process that is quick but also smooth. So it makes the entire process more efficient. It allows recruiters to source, contact, and place candidates much more easily. So the benefits for employers is that it enhances recruitment process by reducing administrative workload and improving the candidate organization. When it comes to efficiency, it automates administrative tasks such as job postings, resume sorting, and candidate communication. It significantly reduces the time and effort required for those processes. It centralizes all candidate information, so it makes it easier to track and manage applications throughout the recruitment process. And of course, it improves speed because it streamlines various recruitment tasks. It accelerates the time it takes for employers and recruiters to fill positions. And of course, the other thing it does, it helps with compliance. So the recruitment practices adhere to legal and regulatory requirements. It maintains records of applicant data. It adheres to the requirements such as those related to equal opportunity, data protection, and even labour laws. So, what data insights does it give us? Well, it provides valuable analytics and reporting tools, offering insights into the effectiveness of recruitment strategies. And it also helps employers refine those for better results. And it also improves the quality of hires. So, by efficiently screening and filtering us as candidates, the ATS helps identify best fit candidates more accurately, improving the overall quality of hires for employers. What about the benefits for us then? So it improves candidate experience when looking for jobs because it helps us autofill online applications and we can even schedule our interviews. So that gives us more control over the hiring process. And also, it helps us know what our status of our application is. So many candidates can go weeks without hearing an update from a prospective employer, and that can put some of us off the company and recruitment process as a whole. Auto responses, however, can be set to mitigate that. So some of the common ATS are Workday, Taleo, Greenhouse. You may have heard of a few of those. So in terms of how it works, so we've understood why the employers are using it and the value and benefit for them. But what actually goes on from the other side? And I mentioned earlier the alchemy, the technological alchemy that goes on. So Applicant Tracking Systems software reads resumes by parsing the text. It looks for specific keywords related to the job description. It looks for job titles, skills, qualifications. But let's not forget that human review is still crucial. It's important to note that even with ATS, humans are still involved in the hiring process. And I often say to the clients I work with and have worked with across the years that it's not the ATS that is deciding if you get an interview. It's still humans that are making that decision. So resumes that pass the initial screening are reviewed in more detail by recruiters or hiring managers. For senior level roles, so maybe director and up, VP and C-suite, or specialized roles with fewer applicants, human review is likely to be more thorough from the outset. So, how does it work in practice for employers? What are they getting from it? So, from job posting management, the ATS system distributes job openings to multiple job boards and company career pages. It automatically scans and extracts relevant information from our resumes, such as skills, our experience, and contact details. From candidate screening perspective, it filters applicants based on predefined criteria such as keywords, qualifications, or professional experience. It enables recruiters to communicate with us via email or messaging us directly from the platform. It tracks us through the hiring process from application to offer or rejection, and it provides insights on hiring metrics such as time to hire and candidate source effectiveness and other relevant statistics. So it's actually very, very useful as part of the recruitment process, particularly if we're recruiting at high volume. So it starts by breaking down resumes into sections. So it assigns meaning to the content from our resumes perspective, like work experience, education, skills, and certifications. It then converts the content into a structured format, like plain text. So sometimes when you're looking at an ATS system, you've put in your beautifully formatted resume, and then all of a sudden you see your bullet points are miles away from where they were originally. And what happens is that the system is passing that content or chopping that content, assigning meaning to it, and then translating that into a format that is uniform at the other end. The reason why it's uniform at the other end is because it reduces bias. If a recruiter or a hiring manager is looking at a set of resumes, it's much easier if the resumes are all looking in the same format for them to be making a judgment about that or a professional form and a professional opinion. The software then compares the past resume content against a predefined set of keywords decided by the employer and phrases derived from the job description, and that's set by the recruiter or the hiring manager. The ATS often includes synonyms or variations to avoid missing matches. So, for example, CPA versus Chartered Professional Accountant. So some examples of keywords that ATS might scan for include interpersonal skills, coding, leadership, certifications, for example, PMP, former employers, for example, Microsoft, Apple, Google, communications, education. So, for example, a BA in communications or a PhD or GED or equivalent diploma. Your work history, so marketing, sales, customer service, job titles, project manager or registered nurse, and action verbs like managed, implemented, or collaborated. More advanced applicant tracking system software evaluates context, not just the presence of keywords. For example, managed a team of 10 animators. That will score more highly than just listing management under skills. And ATS also considers keyword placement. So keywords in work experience or skills sections may be weighted more heavily than those in the volunteer section of a resume. When an applicant tracking system software scans a resume, it compares it to a specific job description, and then it scores it in what's called a job match rate. The job match rate is based on how relevant a resume is to the job description stored in the ATS software. For most ATS tools, a resume scoring 80% or above will pass the screening and be forwarded to the hiring manager or recruiter. The ATS assigns scores of fit, risk, or no fit to resumes based on the number and relevance of the keyword matches. So some systems apply weights to prioritize the skills or qualifications mentioned in the job description. But it is crucial to understand there is no universal standardized numeric ranking systems across all ATS. So we're not going to find that out on the internet, folks. Each system's algorithm is designed to meet the specific needs of and priorities of the organizations using it. So that is proprietary information. Qualitative or categorical labels can be used to represent different levels of candidate match or suitability, with the highest ranking resumes being sent for human review. So, for example, some common terminology for suitability may be high match, strong match, excellent fit, good match, moderate match, suitable. Low match, potential match, or needs improvement, or no match, not suitable. As I mentioned earlier, some common ATS are Workable, Workday, Bamboo HR, Zoho Recruit, ICMS, Oracle Taleo, and Greenhouse. You may have heard and seen of some of those.